Some of us think love is about success. Some of us think love is about pleasing other people. Some of us think love is taking on other people's responsibility and being like their caretaker. So we have different definitions of love that originate in childhood. And then we often repeat these faulty notions in our adult relationships. And we even go on to repeat them with our children.
If you get married in your early 30s, there's like potentially more longevity there because
So
you're
much
knowing
more.
yourself, you're picking a better partner for yourself, whatever. Not to say if you're young, you can't, but I'm just saying like if you're feeling discouraged by your age, like don't. It's an asset. Hello, High Vibin It homies. Welcome back to another podcast of High Vibin It, your favorite spiritual podcast for the self-lovery, the manifestations, the glowing up of all the areas of your life. And today we are talking about relationships, yay, which is not a super frequent topic of conversation on High Vibin It. So I'm very excited to have our guest today. It's going to be so helpful, especially if you are single, not wanting to be single, if you are experiencing any sort of love blockages or like dysfunctional patterns. We have the actual love alchemist with us today, who I will introduce in a moment. But first, a little bit of housekeeping for you guys. We are going to be having a small break this year, and then we're going to introduce like, what are we calling it? Seasons. Yeah. So we're going to start doing seasons instead of like every week, all the time having a podcast. We're going to make it more special for you guys, more curated. We're going to go on a quick little break and then we'll come back, bam, with a new season. Even though we're like over 250 episodes into, I guess, we're just going to make up the season number. We're going to call it like season 8 or something because we've been doing it for so long.
Season 8's good, yeah.
Yeah, so just make sure, I say that to make sure that you're subscribed like everywhere where you listen to podcasts so that when we come back, you'll know. And make sure you're on either Lynnsey's email list or my email list because we will let you know once we are back. So if you're like, where's High Vibin It? That's what's going on there.
Well, also, and if you're on the Patreon, we'll be hanging out in there during the break. So if you can't get enough and you can't stand that we're going on a break and you just miss us way too much, you can come hang out with us on Patreon.
Yeah, so if you're in the Patreon, you won't miss us because we'll be doing live hangouts. We're going to curate a couple things for you guys. We'll still be active in there, but we'll just be taking a little episode break from the podcast. So that's that. To join our Patreon, link is in the show notes. That's where you get extended video episodes and you get to support the show for a couple bucks a month. It really helps us. And yeah, without further ado, oh my gosh, the love alchemist herself and host of Project Love Myself podcast, Miss Sanaiyah Gurnamal. She is beautiful. She is gorgeous. And you guys are just going to love her from the inside out because she's going to help fix your love life. So you're welcome.
Hi, Sanaiyah.
Hi, Lynnsey. Hi, Kelsey.
It is best intros.
Oh, thank you so much. I am so excited to be here because, first of all, I have talked to both of you individually. And I know how amazing our conversations have already been. I know this one's going to be even better because I get both of you at the same time and we're talking about love. So yes, it doesn't get better than this. So I'm very much looking forward to our conversation.
I can't wait. Now, Kelsey and I don't know, I don't think I asked you. Are you in a relationship right now? Like, are you attached? Okay, so we are all attached, right? But there's a lot of people out there that aren't, and a lot of people that wish they were. Or maybe they are holding on to an old flame, or maybe they are just tired of the same cycle over and over. I want to talk about all of that. Before we get into that, what kind of brought you to this work, and what's your journey so far? Like, how did you become the amazing guru? Can I say guru? Are you a guru? A guru?
Not really a
guru-esque?
guru, but I am someone who has this knack for helping women find and attract their soulmates. So being someone who was on the other side of that, I was single. I was, in these toxic, really depressing relationships that just, it was like the same pattern cycling from one person to another. But I was on that side. I was completely frustrated with my love life. I was also at that time working on self-love, working on myself. And when I attracted my soulmate, I'd done the work to get there. I started attracting more and more people as clients who were going through the same kind of challenges that I went through. I am a certified coach. I'm a healer. I am a well-being center owner. I opened a center in Dubai about 15, 18 years ago, and then 2 more centers in Manila where I live right now. So you could say that I really work with people all the time, whether it is running my well-being center, my podcast, or coaching women to help them overcome whatever is going on in their love life that's keeping them stuck. So that's where I come from.
Amazing. I love
We
that.
need it. We are here for your medicine. And I would say, like, you're a specialist. She specializes in putting you into a healthy, happy relationship and taking you from stuck and frustrated and like going crazy, experiencing these roadblocks and these patterns to blossoming into your most relationship high functioning
Ready?
self. Yeah.
Yeah. Relationship ready.
And I love how you say that, Kelsey, because it really is about the relationship with yourself. Right. And most of us have this broken, disconnected, and not very kind and loving relationship with ourselves. And then we keep attracting partners who, kind of mirror that very stressed out, frustrating relationship with them as well. So I've noticed that a lot of the women that I've worked with often have a lot of challenges loving themselves. And as a result, they end up attracting partners who make them feel even more unloved. And so the cycle keeps continuing. And
Cycle be cycling.
cycle be cycling, right? Until someone decides to break the cycle. And that's where I come in, is I help people break that cycle and change the pattern and, figure out why they're still single when they shouldn't be.
Amen. So you're telling me what I'm hearing, which is what has come up on the podcast 100 million billion times, is that self-love is the answer to yet another one of life's debacles.
Right.
Absolutely. It doesn't get simpler than that, and yet we complicate it so much, right? I mean, we make love complicated, whether we're single, whether we're in a relationship, or whether we are kind of working on self-loving ourselves, right? So we're constantly making it over complicated. So, I'm sure you totally relate. I can see the head shaking. I can see you guys also totally feeling this, because that was me once upon a time as well. So, yeah.
Well, and I don't think that we're really set up for success anyway, especially your clientele, which is mostly women, I assume. We're not really set up to love ourselves, are we? We're not really set up for that. We're not encouraged to see ourselves in that way. Unless, I guess, you grow up in a really, really supportive, abnormal household where they just lift you up all the time. But I think that, yes, we overcomplicate it. Yes, it is something that we always put on a pedestal as like only a certain type of person can have that healthy relationship. So there must be something wrong with me. But I think that we're also up against society, no? Like in terms of like what we're taught is okay. Always look outside yourself. Always go to that store and buy this thing, or do this with your hair, or shave this. And, we're just not really set up to love ourselves wholly and holy as from day one. So I think that it's really beautiful that it's coming up again, because this is what we talk about all the time. So is that where you, like, how do you start with someone, I guess, when they come to you and they're like, I just don't know what's wrong, or maybe they do. What's step one to kind of getting them there?
That's such a great question, Lynnsey, because for me, it's a very obvious thing that everyone should be doing, which is go back and look at your relationship history, right?
Your pattern.
Again, whether your pattern, right? Because nobody ever sits down and goes through every single relationship, unless they want to like torture themselves, but they don't really sit down and go through the relationship after relationship and try to see what is that one thing that kept coming up over and over again, right? So one of the things I make my clients do is sit down and do a relationship inventory. And what are the emotions that you felt every single time? What is a specific way the relationship ended? Was there betrayal or cheating in some form or the other over and over again? So essentially, what are your patterns? right? And you really got to sit down and look at all of it together to see that one thing that often doesn't jump out unless you put it, together. And then my approach is that tells you really the story of how you have learned about love, right? That's your story. That's your childhood story. And it's either what you witnessed growing up with your parents. It could be how you experience love with your parents. So I'm talking now about your father, mother wounds. I'm talking about how love was modeled in your childhood. So you're essentially putting all the pieces together of who you are when it comes to understanding love. Some of us think love is about success. Some of us think love is about pleasing other people. Some of us think love is taking on other people's responsibility and being like their caretaker. So we have different definitions of love that originate in childhood. And then we often repeat these faulty notions in our adult relationships. And we even go on to repeat them with our children. So it is something I think that is very eye-opening when you take a look at how you relate to love, how you understand love, and how you define it.
I have a spicy question.
Okay, tell me.
Not spicy like sexy, but I do have like maybe a controversial question. Have you ever had a client where, they go through their relationship inventory, and I'm assuming it's like family relationships and romantic, right? Like when they're doing just how they relate in general. Have you ever had someone that's like, oh, I'm the problem. Oh, I'm the one that is like the narcissist, or I'm the one that's toxic. Have you ever had that where you have to kind of coach them and be like, maybe don't
stop being crazy, girl.
Yeah, maybe look, no judgment, but like, has that come up where you're like, oh, this is what's happening?
So here's the interesting thing. When a person comes in to work with me, everybody else is the problem, right? Yeah. The ex, the one I'm dating now, my father, everyone's the problem. But after we lay everything out, they start to see, oh, wait a minute, maybe everyone else is not the problem and I'm the problem. So the big win is when we recognize that, oh, wait a minute, I'm the common denominator. I'm the one that is obviously creating all of this because I'm repeating the pattern, right?
See, and that could not be that's such a good answer, because it really, like, I was waiting for the tea, like, oh yeah, girl, I had this one client who was just like, but how beautiful that like everybody just wants to know at the end of the day they did everything they could. And so the knowledge that maybe you could have done something different is sometimes just as valuable to take in to the next chapter. We are only responsible for our side of the street. You can't be responsible for what that person did, but you can clean up your side so that when you go into the next relationship, you're not making the same mistakes or falling into the same pitfalls. Wow, that was a really good way to answer that question. I like that. And it's true. It really is about us all the time. Who is it that Oprah said, like, you teach people how to treat you kind of thing?
Yeah.
I don't know
how you love
Oprah.
yourself.
I just attribute everything to Oprah.
It's actually Rupi Kaur. And she wrote, I love this. It's one of my favorite quotes. And she said, how you love yourself is how you teach other people to love you.
Yes.
Right. And that's the core of my work, that, if you take responsibility and accountability, then you can make better choices, different choices. You can choose what you will allow and tolerate and what you will walk away from. Right? You can teach people to love you a different way with better boundaries. There's so many things you can do in a relationship that may be falling apart, or a relationship that, has the possibility of being turned around. There's so much you can do, actually. And sometimes the doing is walking away. But sometimes the doing is changing the way you're reacting or behaving or what you're putting out into the relationship. So I actually think we have a lot of power in our relationships. And I think we underestimate that because we're so busy blaming everyone else and wanting them to change.
Hey there, it's Lynnsey. Are you ready to transform your life and achieve your biggest dreams? Well, welcome to the Align Your Mind membership. As a seasoned hypnotherapist, I've crafted a digital sanctuary where you can access powerful hypnotherapy audios anytime, anywhere. Imagine waking up each day feeling empowered, confident, connected to the universe, and ready to conquer your goals. With AYM, you'll experience deep, long-lasting transformations in every area of your life. If you're ready to rewire your mind, release what's holding you back, and start living your dreams, don't wait any longer. Just click the link in the episode description and start embodying your highest potential today.
It's such a powerful exercise. The moment you started talking about it, I got goosebumps because I have done this. Lynnsey knows I have had a long road of kissing poisonous frogs.
Where
to
were
get
you,
to my
Sanaiyah?
husband.
Where were you? Okay.
Where were
years
you
ago.
in my golden trial and error days of love life? Because, girl, even my dad was like, I just don't understand like why relationships are so hard for you. I'm like, hello, not all of us can just
Yes.
meet my mom when we're young and get married and have this awesome marriage right away. Like, I had to go through it. And when I went back and reflected on everything, I would always date people, and still my husband, I would say we have a lot in common. People that I saw myself in subconsciously. But the kicker was I would always date the parts of myself that I denied, disowned, and rejected the hardest. And I felt like God, life, the universe was like, you will love these parts of yourself. And if you don't love them in yourself, I'm going to put them in a super hot body with a six-pack to trick you into loving them through this person. And you'll have all the patience for them. You'll help them not to commit suicide. You'll save them from themselves over and over and over. But like, why won't you love the part of yourself that's anxious? Why won't you love the part of yourself that's depressed? Why won't you love the part of yourself that's moody and sensitive and blah, 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 and needy and all these things? And so, girl, I had to go through that like so many times. Like, call it a twin flame dynamic, whatever you want to call it. There was one in particular that was the most dramatic, which I'm sure I'll write a book about one day.
Voldemort.
But there were a few that were still like pretty not far off from that, just a lesser degree of it. And so looking at that on paper and being like, oh, definitely beneficial. It can have a little bit of a slap in the face energy to it, to like, oh yeah, I've been the one perpetuating the pattern, because like every time I just can't accept and own and love and have compassion for and understanding for these parts of myself, they just keep showing up in my partners until I do learn how to do that. And then obviously I became like a self-love teacher and advocate and practicer, most importantly, for myself. And so my relationship now with my husband is much better, but there is still sometimes days where like his annoying parts that are also my annoying parts will come out, and I'll just be like, oh, I can't deal with this right now, and I'll walk out or I'll whatever, and then I have to be like, whoa, Kelsey, he is literally you, okay? He is literally you. Calm it down. Remember why you love him. Have a little more patience. Have a little more understanding, and it's all gonna be okay.
You know, I love that you brought this up, Kelsey, because this is something I actually don't talk about a lot, but it shows up in the work that I do with the women I coach. And it's the fact that we're always trying to fix things in our relationships, right? So when you were attracting the parts of yourselves that you were rejecting or you were hiding from, right? You were trying to fix that about yourself in someone else, in the partner that had those same qualities. You were trying to fix it. And sometimes we try to fix what went wrong in our parents' relationship, right? Or sometimes we're trying to fix something that we want to do better than they did. So somewhere our subconscious is trying to fix what we see as problems, whether that's from our childhood or not.
So Kelsey brings something up where she's like, oh, he's you, or he's me, or this mirrors me, whatever. And I've heard so many people say this. Like, I watch a lot of Love Island, okay? And like Love is Blind. I love those shows. Oh, it makes me feel so good about being married. I swear. And
like, thank God.
I cannot imagine dating. I'm sorry. I just can't. It terrifies me. But I do watch a lot of it. I love it. And a lot of people are like, oh, he's so me. He's so me. And for me, that's like, why would you want to date yourself? And not like in a judgy way, but like, I want someone different. Like, I want that opposite kind of dynamic. And I'm sure that my husband mirrors me in certain ways. I know that. But and it's interesting you say, like, we try to fix what happened with our parents, because I'm thinking this. And then when you said that, I remember my dad said, they couldn't stay together because they were too similar. Like, that's what I knew growing up. And so when I hear people say that, I'm like, what? Like, opposites attract people. Like, why are you doing this? So, I mean, talk about that, because that's a thing for me, I know, but like, I also know that it's not the worst thing but I just never really grew up with that. It sounds so weird to me.
Yeah. And you know what? I grew up hearing opposites attract too. And I always thought it was so strange, because when I would see really opposite people together,
like
I'm
magnets. No?
Yeah, I'm like, what? But here's how I look at it, or here's how I understand it, Lynnsey. We all have like our own frequency and vibration, right? And we do attract people on our vibration. So like attracts like, right? The law of attraction. So whether we like it or not, we are attracting people that we resonate with.
Right.
Now, they may show up as similar in traits with us, or they may show up as people who trigger our buttons, or they may show up as completely different from us, but they complement us in different ways. So I don't think it doesn't look the same in different partnerships. Like, you might have two people with the same frequency and vibration, and that's a good relationship when they're kind of like, they're vibing it, right? Like your podcast, right? Like you guys. So when that vibration exists between two people and they resonate, it's a great relationship.
Yeah.
And they don't have to be very similar, and they can be the same, right? And it really depends from relationship to relationship, as long as they resonate. They have something that keeps them connected.
Right.
And
we are
looks
very,
differently.
very equal and opposite. We're equal and opposite. I always say, because like in hypnotherapy, we term it as like relationships, like relatability, suggestibility, like your language when it comes to relating to people. And there's a certain questionnaire that we give to clients. And so I had myself take it and my husband take it, and we scored exactly equal and opposite. And that's not the first time. Like, anytime we take any sort of like personality test or whatever, it's always equal and opposite. He's also a Virgo, and I'm an Aries. So I'm here. If you're doing the zodiac wheel, I'm here, and he's literally the opposite. So, it is what it is. I attracted exactly what I thought.
But also, right, for you, Lynnsey, you saw, for you, what impacted you was your father saying that we were too
And I never
alike.
knew. You don't know this is happening. And I don't know.
It's subconscious.
Like, people say you marry your parents. I definitely did not. Neither of them. He's a new creature, like, completely, which is good. I think if you would have stayed with Voldemort, he who must not be named, that's the dynamic we're talking. Okay. So like, they were so similar. They did a good thing, because I think they each triggered each other and their own wounds, and neither of them love you guys. You're not emotionally mature enough. You just can't. You didn't.
Nobody is. First of all,
Well,
I
no.
feel like nobody is. Even the most, even I thought I was pretty emotionally mature for my age at that time. Girl, no version of me, even the highest version of me, could have made that
survive
into a
that.
good thing.
Yeah. And sometimes the best, as you said, Sanaiyah, sometimes the best thing is just to walk away. And I'm so glad that they did. But it is interesting. And I'm sure everybody listening is now thinking, like, what was that? What were my parents like? And what did they say that maybe I'm carrying with me today, for better, for worse? Because I landed very well. I think Kelsey and Sanaiyah, we can all agree we landed very well, but that's not the case for everybody. And so that's why you're here, to help.
Yeah. Yeah. And you want to check, right? Is what I went through, is it serving me in a positive way or a negative way?
Yeah.
So I had a very similar experience as you. The person I married is completely different from, either of my parents. And I have a very different kind of marriage, but I learned from theirs and made different choices and valued different things, right? But for a while, I was repeating some of the stories that I grew up with. So we definitely want to check, are we carrying the right things forward? Are we repeating them? Are they sabotaging our relationships? What is going on? And so doing that relationship inventory and then taking it backwards and reflecting over the relationships you grew up with, what love was defined, how love was defined, how it was taught to you, how you related to it. I mean, these can create a lot of understanding that I think can help you make better decisions about your future.
You're muted.
Sorry, I thought I unmuted, but I
You clicked it, but it didn't go.
Anyway, I was trying to say self-love matters. Caveat, I will add, like, I think it's so annoying when single people hear, oh, just love yourself, and then we'll like all work out naturally, or like, you can't be in a relationship until you love yourself. And we're not saying that. We're just saying do it to the degree that you can. It's not conditional, like, if you don't do it perfect, or you're not going to have a partner until you love yourself perfect. Like, that's not what we're saying. We're just saying self-love is good. It's helpful. It's beneficial. Start there. Also, do an inventory, find the patterns. Very helpful. That awareness is going to give you the ability to make new and better choices, right? So from there, are there any other like resistances or blockages that you think people should work through? Because I'm thinking as a manifestation coach, and I've written about this in my book, the pink one, My Pocket Guide to Manifestation, like there might be some blockages to dating or love or men or relationships just in general. Like dating's horrible, all the dating apps suck, men are terrible in this day and age, why even bother? Like, I don't want to get murdered on a date from some app. Like, you know, there's a lot of resistance there, especially for women. So is that something that you tell people to work through? Are there common ones that you see a lot that are blocking people? Like, talk to us about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been working with women for over 15 years, and I actually sat down and counted one day. I think I've worked with more than 5,000 women. And when I went through all the research of everyone I've worked with, I figured out there were 5 common blocks that showed up over and over again. And I defined each of these blocks and turned it into a quiz. And every time people take this quiz, Kelsey, they're like, oh my God, that's me, that's me, that's me. So I've gotten a lot of validation that it really just almost boils down to 5 different types. And so I'm going to talk about each one of these because I'm sure your listeners are going to completely recognize themselves in these types. So the first love block that I see a lot of is the commitment phobe. So this is the woman who attracts the emotionally unavailable partner, the one who can't commit. Sometimes he comes into the relationship, he's got a lot of baggage, he's afraid to trust again. There's always some story for why he can't commit to you or why he's just not ready or available. And so that's the commitment phobe block. The thing is, if you keep attracting that kind of a partner, the real commitment phobe is you. Okay. And that was me. Like the day I was like, oh my God, every single person I've dated is pretty much unavailable. So it must be me. I'm the one with the commitment issue. And that's when like, oh my gosh, everything made sense to me. But so the first one is the commitment phobe. The second one is the people pleaser. So you're probably a people pleaser love block if you grew up having to please your parents, please everybody else. So you grew up thinking that for me to be loved, for me to get attention, I have to always please the other person. I have to do something. I have to earn love. And so you grow up dating partners where you have to kind of constantly do things for them, thinking you're going to get love back. And of course, most of the time you don't get it back. So you're disappointed and then you get resentful. So that's the people pleaser. Block number 3 is the runaway bride. So this is the woman who's every time the relationship goes to the next step, you sabotage it, you run away, you're afraid of vulnerability, intimacy, you're scared to be hurt again. So you've probably been cheated on or betrayed in some way, or love has been really painful. And so you're afraid of getting closer to it. Okay. Number 4 is the caretaker. So this one shows up a lot in Asian cultures, more than some of the clients I've worked with from Western cultures. So this is very interesting. But the caretaker is the one who feels they have to take care of other people because growing up, they might have been the older sibling, so they cared for their younger siblings, or they had a mother who was either absent, avoidant, or had some kind of mental health challenge and couldn't be available to the child. So the child became the parent, right? Or it could be a situation where the child has taken on like the family debt, some kind of responsibility. So they're so busy taking care of whatever that big responsibility is, they can't think about themselves. So their love life is on hold until they pay back the family debt. Or they can't think about their own love life because they have to take care of their parents. So I see that as being a big block. And then the fifth and last love block is the one who is the memory chaser. It's like a rerun. You keep replaying your old relationship. You think your ex was the most amazing thing, even though it was a pretty toxic relationship. But you put them on a pedestal and you're like, I've missed the boat. I'll never find someone like that again. So you're always looking back. You're stuck in the past and you can't see what's right in front of you because you keep comparing your past to, a potential future. So these are kind of like the 5 love blocks. I can see you nodding your head. So I know you've seen it. You probably, remember yourself as one of these blocks. But each of these blocks has a completely different wound, trigger, type of person they attract. And I approach their healing and coaching in a different way because they need something very different. So this is something that I specifically work with my clients on to help them overcome whatever is getting in their way of attracting the right person for them.
Did you know that this show is 100% self-produced and made possible by listener support? If you love the show and want to help us keep bringing you all the good stuff, join our Patreon. Your support helps us cover editing, software, and everything we need to keep this podcast going and growing strong.
As a Patreon member, you'll unlock amazing perks like early access to every episode, extended video content, behind-the-scenes footage, and more. And the best part, if you're one of the next 100 people to join, you'll get our exclusive manifestation toolkit valued at over $100 as soon as we hit our goal of 100 patrons. Head to patreon.com/highvibe to join, and we'll see you inside.
I think I used to be a runaway bride, you guys. Because
Yeah?
before I got married, I wasn't actually engaged twice, but I was almost engaged twice before my husband proposed. And in fact, when I broke up with the one before my husband, he actually was so upset and he showed me the ring and I was like, oh, no. Oh yeah, no, that's not happening. He was so mad. Yeah, I think that was me. I think I was the runaway bride. And then also, not really, I do have the story of the caretaker, but I actively don't take care of my husband because of that, I think. Because I had to do it my whole life. And so I'm like, you can fold your own socks, okay? And, he's fine. But it is interesting, though, to these 5, I definitely can relate to a couple of them.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm very lucky that I landed well. I'm just very fortunate, I think.
I was
think you did
waiting
the
for you
work.
to call one the fixer, and
I
I
was
was like,
waiting for the fixer.
because that I feel like
goes.
that's me. Like even to this day, like when I revert to my perfectionist, like control freak self, like that's what I go to. I'm like, you need to do this better. You didn't do this. You're not doing that. You should do this better. You should, and like my perfectionism just vomits all over my husband or even my
Yeah.
dog. Like you're not sitting good enough. You're not listening to your commands. You're not, blah, blah, So that's what we're working with over here.
Or just, and I
so
think it
that's-
also manifests as like your the boys, right? Like,
Yeah,
I need to
and-
fix them. I need to
And the
if I fix
emotionally
them-
unavailable ones, they'd be
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm not ready. I can't commit, blah, blah, blah. And I would never listen because I would be like, no, I will heal you with my love. And I am so much better than everyone else. You will make an exception for me when
Yeah.
you see how nurturing I am, how much I pour into you, how much better your life is with me. You're going to want to marry me, obviously, because I'm me. So good luck resisting me. But yet somehow they always did.
Right. Yep.
Would that be the people pleaser?
Kelsey, I was just gonna say. So that was me. That was totally me. I thought every emotionally unavailable guy will fall madly in love with me, and then that was it. I would change them. So the fixer is actually hidden behind the commitment phobe, and also the runaway bride. Sometimes so I've seen the fixer, but it's not the real problem. There's actually something in one of the 5
Okay.
blocks. That's more of the fixer. And the other thing is, no one is really just one block completely, right? It overlaps, but there's one block that I notice is the one that dominates, right? That's the one that causes the most problems. So you might have, like, I was a commitment phobe and a little bit of the runaway bride and a little bit of the people pleaser. But my big one was the commitment phobe. That was my issue, you know? So yeah, totally.
Wow, so interesting, so fascinating. I could talk about relationships. Like, I love love. Me and Lynnsey, we're both like very romantic. We like for things to work out and be happy. Like, why do you think I'm obsessed with Married at First Sight? I'm like, oh my God, how cute would it be if these two strangers actually got married at first sight and actually loved each other and it all worked out? Kudos to Pastor
I'm over
Cal.
here like I'm just waiting for the drama to happen. Like I'm ready. I got my like I'm not waiting for the happy ending in these shows because it's pretty
I don't
clearly
like
not
the
gonna
drama.
happen. Yeah,
That's
I
so
love the
funny you say
drama.
that because when I watch Married at First Sight, I'm like, oh my God, this one is so superior to all the Netflix ones because it's actually constructive and they work with these therapists sometimes, right? It's like, it's a
Oh my
TV
God,
show.
one of the therapists ran off with one of the people. Like,
No.
yes. The girl therapist from the first couple. I'm probably spreading like salacious rumors right now and gossip, but
Oh my God.
I did read that she like ran off with one of the guys who was having marital problems. So like, drama.
Do you just die when you watch these shows? Because like a part of me as the self-love coach does die a little bit every time I watch these people like go through these patterns. And I've literally gone through a period where I was like, The Bachelor needs me. Like, I'm going to come on The Bachelor, not as a contestant. I'm going to help these people through their weird issues that they got going on. Like, this does not need to keep happening. It's so obvious when you watch it on TV, right? When it's someone else, but then when it's you, you're like, what's my problem? Why can't I find love?
My husband's like, you need to go on the show as one of these like therapists because everybody needs hypnotherapy on the show. I was like, yeah, I know. It's fun though. It's fun.
Yeah.
So I imagine we all have that to some degree. Like, why are
All
you
the
doing
time.
this? Girl, turn around.
Okay, I have a funny thing for us to talk about on the Patreon in a few minutes when we transition over, but do you have any insight to like what your celebrity crush says about you and your dysfunctions?
Ooh, what? Okay, this is so fun.
I think that would be
That
a fun
is not
game
a
to get into.
question I was expecting. Okay,
I
so
wasn't
wait.
either, but I'm obsessed.
Okay, we're going to play that game on the Patreon. So if you're not in the Patreon, get in the Patreon. It's in the bio. But okay, we need to wrap this up on a really just like empowering note because I feel like love blocks just feels like, oh my God, how am I going to get over all these blocks? Obviously, work with Sanaiyah, use her as a resource. We actually all have resources here that we'll link to in the show notes. Like we have journals, we have hypnosis, we have all price ranges to help you guys with your love life. So don't worry about that. But is there anything like on your heart or on your mind that you want to tell the frustrated single people specifically about love, maybe about where they're headed, that it's going to work out, whatever is the message that they need?
Yeah, I think we spend so much time looking for love outside of ourselves, and we forget that the most important person to work on is yourself. So if you are frustrated with love, if you are, constantly getting your heart broken, take a break from what's out there and start turning inward and just date yourself. Spend some time having a relationship with yourself first. And then when you feel great about that, then go back out there. So I think that is just, I would say, the most empowering thing I can leave you with is to really focus on your relationship first before other people. And of course, do the work, figure out what's going on in your life instead of just repeating the same patterns over and over again. And of course, if your listeners want to take my quiz, the Love Blocks quiz, it'll tell them which one of those 5 blocks they have, and then give them tips on, of course, how to deal and overcome that specific one. Yeah.
So good. Also, I thought of another fun idea for the Patreon.
Is it a secret or you get to tell us?
No, I'll tell you guys so you can feel left out if you're not in the Patreon. I want to talk about red flags versus green flags and maybe beige flags. I don't know. All the flags. I think it's nice for people to have a roadmap or an outline when they don't trust themselves to have a good picker anymore because they've been through so much bullshit. I think that would be really beneficial. So we're going to talk about that on the other side. Lynnsey, do you have any announcements?
I'm making an app.
Yay!
Like an
Tell us
app.
more.
Like an actual. I'm so excited right now. I'm trying to beta test for Android. So anybody who has an Android, I don't care if you don't even like hypnosis. Please just click some buttons so that I can get this approved on the Google Play Store. I am so desperate. I have like 2 more people that I need for this beta, and I don't know when this is going to go out. But if you hear this, please email me or DM me on any social. But I'm excited about the app. It's got all my good digital content, my hypnosis, my mindset tools, my manifestation hacks, and all that good stuff. And it's very affordable if you can't afford a one-on-one coach. And I'm excited. It's an app. I'm doing it.
Amazing. Congratulations.
Yay!
About time, actually. But yeah, that's it. Love you guys.
Amazing. So Lynnsey's app is coming. Check out all Sanaiyah's links. Listen to our episodes with her on her show. Her show is so good.
Yeah.
Project Loving Myself, such an amazing show that you guys will truly love because it's all about loving yourself. Surprise, surprise, which we are obviously big fans of on High Vibin It because the answer always seems to dwindle down to that whenever you want to improve your life. You just improve your relationship with yourself. So we'll leave you guys on that note. We love you so much. There's so many resources for you in the links in the show notes. So don't sleep on those. Take the quiz. We will see you in the next episode, and we will see you over on the Patreon. Bye.